No one is going to learn nothing from you, man.
That's it.
In other words,
Islam is
you
the
have
final
the-
religion.
What's that?
Muhammad is the final prophet. That's it.
Show me.
Full stop.
Where was Muhammad?
Full stop. Full
I am a
stop. Full
Christian.
stop.
So, please help me understand.
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
Burn in hell.
I'll burn in hell. And he's happy.
You're going to hell, man.
Okay, what's that?
You're going to hell.
I'll burn in hell. Will you be with me at that time?
Hell? Oh, no. I'm not going wherever you're going.
What else? Wow. Don't be confused. Sir. We're talking about something else right now.
Don't talk.
Yeah. Cool.
Go ahead.
So the problem.
Why you not do glass?
So Islamic scholarship in operation here.
Excuse me.
Yeah, cool. Can a Muslim come and defend Islam at all? So far, I haven't found any knowledgeable Muslim. Even the expression knowledgeable Muslim seems to be an oxymoron. And so no wonder our nation is seriously suffering today, my dear friends. Our nation is suffering. Things are burning. You are a Muslim, sir. So you maybe can help us.
Don't speak to him.
So clearly there are issues that are causing issues today. The last 2 days, people has been frustrated in relation to Islam. You are aware of that.
What's Islam got to do with it? Ask him.
I genuinely think, I'm coming there.
I don't know about the situation. We're talking about religion, yes. I don't
Yeah,
know
religion, really. I want to talk to you about religion. You know, I am a Christian. According to Christianity, we have values.
What
Deep values that we cherish. And I go through the Quran multiple times and I find none of these values here.
Like what?
Like, for example, love. Do you have God is love in the Quran?
Yes.
Please show me.
I know from my heart. I don't need to show you from this.
No, you know from your heart, so you can
do?
show it from here. Look, your heart is in the Quran. The Quran is here. Show me where is God is love.
Love what?
Are you Muslim, sir? Yeah, please, if you please come here. Yeah, sure. God is love. I'd like to find out.
Love what?
Not even love what? God is love.
No, what does God is love mean? I don't. This phrase is not understandable.
It's his very essence to love.
Okay.
It's his very
So,
essence.
love anything?
Well, of course, if he is God, he bettered us. So this is why do you think God, Islamic Allah?
God loves.
Yeah.
Okay. God loves the Muslim people. That is one love.
God loves Muslim people, even human beings can do. What silly thing is this? Do you love your children?
Yes, I love my
Do you love my children? So even a human being can do what you are saying. Your children you
What
love,
kind
my
of
children
love?
you don't love. That's what Islamic Allah
The
does.
question is not clear. What is your question again?
I
please?
cannot show you. Yeah, please. But if you please come here, please come.
So ask me a question again.
So God is love. We're trying to find out if God.
I
Now
don't know
free
what that
speech.
means.
You understand the expression free speech?
Yes, I know.
Do you have any evidence of free speech in the Quran?
Evidence of free speech in
No,
the
he's
Where someone is
asking
denied
a different
Islam
question.
and is led to live
Yes,
when
there is,
Islam
there
had
is,
the.
there is,
Please
there
show.
is.
Please try.
There is in the Quran
Please.
verse that says, okay, La ikraha fid din, which means, do you understand that La ikraha fid din? It means that you are not forced to follow a certain
Where
religion.
is this?
In Surah Al-Baqarah.
Are you kidding me?
You ask.
You ask,
Have you read the Surah Al-Baqarah?
I memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. I don't need
Good,
to read
good.
it.
So if you
I bring it out to you now.
okay.
You want?
So
have you read back Surah Al-Baqarah?
multiple times.
Okay, and you haven't seen that verse?
I have seen the verse.
Okay, then why are you
Then why are
surprised?
you asking?
Why are you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. I was asking you, are you kidding?
He's doing a mockery.
The reason I asked you that is if you've read the entire Surah
I
Al-Baqarah,
have read
you
the
would know.
entire Quran, not only Surah Al-Baqarah.
Sure. If you had read Surah Al-Baqarah carefully, you would know one of the most violent chapters in the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah. One of the most violent. Can I show you violent verses in the Quran? In Surah Al-Baqarah? Let me bring that up. One second.
No, it was a
Take out context.
Take out of coming.
brother.
To say something we don't know.
He keeps jumping every different topic.
No, you think he's going to say something we don't know?
He asks question, is God all loving?
No, God is love. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, tell him to explain. Why is he jumping?
I know you don't know what it
Ask him
means,
why
and that's
he
precisely the problem I'm trying to point out to my dear
It seems
friend.
like he's all over the place. He's jumping one, two topics. different topic.
Come on, show me the violent verses in the Quran.
Don't play this game,
The
bro.
Quran,
Just play
the
the
Surah
game.
Al-Baqarah is one of the most violent verses. He's going to show me now the violent
Are you
verse.
kidding?
I don't know how. And he asked me for a verse and then he said, are you kidding? I don't know.
Yeah, he's not serious. He's not serious, this man.
Still looking?
Okay, you're wasting your time, bro.
You're still looking? Come on,
I thought you memorized Surah Al-Baqarah.
come on, show me the violence.
He said he memorized early, he read the whole thing. And now he doesn't remember.
Memorized. Okay.
Okay.
Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 190.
Ask him where's he reading from, Akhi?
Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 190.
119, come on.
190. So you're going to help us read.
Sorry.
And we'll work out. You know it. Okay. So you know it, you can read.
Thank God the camera
Fight
died.
in the way of Allah. Fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you. Okay.
Those who fight against ye. So
Let him read it.
your argument is done.
Fight for the name of Allah.
No, Akhi, please.
We have time.
Those who fight ye and do not become just John Creston.
He hasn't read anything. He
Yeah.
should have read it. Let him read first.
Yeah, once.
So your argument is done. That's it, خلاص, it's finished.
Show him something.
Is that so?
Cool down, cool down.
We're having a reasonable discussion.
Yes.
We don't just fight over it.
I thought you were expert on the Quran. Arul, what's happening?
Too much time.
You're struggling now. You said you read Surah Al-Baqarah.
So Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 216.
You read the whole context.
Yeah, read the whole context. Let's read the whole context. Warfare is ordained for you.
Warfare.
Warfare is ordained for you, though it is hateful to you. But it may happen that you hate a thing which is good for you, and it may happen that you love a thing which is bad for you. So they question you with regard to warfare in the sacred month. Say warfare it is a great, but to turn from the way of Allah and to disbelieve in Him and in the inviolable place of worship and to expel His people from there is greater with Allah. For persecution is worse than killing, and they will not cease from fighting against you till they have made you renegades from your religion, if they can. And who becomes a renegade and dies in disbelief, such are they whose works have fallen both in the world and the hereafter. So this okay. So please
What's wrong
explain.
with that verse?
First of all, I'll read it in Arabic, so you know that.
No, English is fine.
No, ask
we have-
what's wrong with the
English is
verse?
fine.
What's wrong with the verse?
So far we have read in English. English is fine.
Everything you said, we agree with it.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
First
Ask
of
him,
all,
brother.
let's explain this, okay?
Brother, please. Sorry.
You know, for my Muslim audience, كتب عليكم القتال وهو كرح لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. This is the ayah that you read in English, okay? So what Allah said, but you haven't explained it, you just read it, okay? You didn't.
Excuse me. Are you getting to the explanation right
Yes,
now?
I am.
Please, thank you.
You
Don't
brought,
touch me. Don't.
okay, sorry.
Brother, ask him.
You brought up the ayah, okay, without even explaining why it's violent.
Fighting, warfare.
It's talking about warfare. Brother,
I can clarify for you. I can clarify if you want.
Okay. So you're saying that any warfare is
I now
violent?
clarify.
Okay, come on.
Clearly you didn't understand English. I'm now clarifying. So
Don't
warfare
speak English properly.
is ordained for you,
Okay.
though it is hateful for you.
What's wrong
So
with that?
as Muslims,
Okay, tell me what's wrong with that.
did you ask me to explain?
No,
Did I just
you
begin?
don't need his
No,
explanation.
no need. From Bible, unless you're panicking.
What's wrong with it?
So the point is very simple, which is across the Quran, like in Surah 532, Surah 929, and so on, we find the idea that Muslims have been asked to fight, have been asked to fight. But please, we're trying to.
Yeah, you can film if you want.
Muslims have been asked to fight because the threat that they face is that they somehow will be disbelievers. That is the threat.
You can move
If
forward.
you go through the entire Quran, you will not be able to show me one evidence of someone who actually violently persecuted Muslims at
I don't
all.
want to hear you.
The only threat that they face is that they will cease being Muslims. And at the face of this threat, they have been asked to fight and kill unbelievers. So please tell me, in other words, if a Christian comes here to speak as Quran and tries to explain to a Muslim that being a Muslim isn't great, you need to cease being a Muslim, that will be seen as a threat and you will fight against it. This is Islam. Now you tell me, me, is this biased or not?
Okay, very good. Now I understand your explanation.
Every human being has to show respect between each other.
I don't know you.
Already big answer.
So what you're saying,
you force me to respect you.
first of all, we don't
So that's
deny
your ideology.
that there
You don't
is
have to respect
fighting
people.
in Islam.
Again, what's my religion got to do with this?
Your ideology.
Yeah, what's that got to do
The
with
same
it?
religion, your ideology.
Again, you're waffling.
I'm not denying that.
Kill like you. No, 50 million. You kill 50 million in India. Okay, millions. You ideology kill millions of people. Now you are talking about ideology Islam. Yes. You don't know anything about history. You educated. Okay? Yes.
This verse in particular that you read, okay, Allah is telling the Muslims that you are allowed to fight. How can I talk when you're looking the other way?
Don't worry. Your fellows, is that your friend?
No, I don't know.
Is that your brother?
I don't know him.
Is that your Islamic brother?
I don't know him.
Is that your Islamic brother?
I told you I don't know him.
Are you listening to me? I didn't ask you if you
I
know
don't
him.
know if he's a Muslim.
I'm asking. He is a Muslim. If you just ask him not to harass, no, just
I'm not harassing him.
He's the one harassing.
maybe
It's
we'll
nagging
stop
like
and
last
start
week
again.
police. Which police? Nagging and one.
Start again.
You're harassing
please
me.
go on.
He's the one who's harassing me.
Now I'm telling you that in Islam you are allowed to fight, okay, to defend
He doesn't want me
Islam.
to
Yes.
film. That's why.
You just went into,
you
you
guys can
walked
edit
directly
it.
in my line. You walked directly in my line.
No, we can you don't film and edit
Stop
this
lying.
video.
Stop
You are
lying.
against
Stop
Islam.
gonna have
Stop
sex,
lying.
sir.
Stop lying.
I'm allowed to
I'm
film.
allowed to kill you. Is that what you
This is
understand?
Stop lying.
That's what the verse is saying.
But don't get
So
involved.
show me
Where
what
does it say that
All you have to do. All you have to do.
agrees with you that you are allowed to fight?
I'm sorry about this, but this is Islam
let's see.
for you.
Islam. Again,
Please read this. But
Sadly.
it may
I don't know
happen.
why you keep
Okay, the
blaming the
question with
religion.
regard to warfare in the sacred month,
Listen, you'll find out.
warfare in it is a great transgression, but to turn from the way of Allah. What is to turn from the way of Allah?
Okay, no, continue.
What is to turn from the way of Allah?
read the whole context.
Okay, fine. You won't answer. Let me answer. That's fine. That's fine. I'll comment. So, if what are Muslims supposed to fight about or fight preventing something? You're supposed to fight preventing the possibility that you will leave from the way of Allah. What is the way of Allah? Okay, wait. You said you're not going to explain. I am explaining right now.
No, we don't need your comment.
Essentially, the threat that the Muslims were confronting is that they'll certainly not continue being Muslims,
That's a lie.
not follow the way of Allah. And so, if you ever face the threat that you won't follow the way of Allah, you're supposed to fight back. In other words, you're not fighting because someone has attacked you physically, but you're fighting because someone is trying to convert you. Okay, let me read. Let me read. Warfare in it.
Wait. Why don't you comment? Why don't you comment?
Why don't you stay quiet? We are speaking to this gentleman.
Why don't
One
you
second.
comment?
Warfare.
Why India doesn't recognize the Adivasis?
Excuse me.
Why does India?
Are you a little bit confused right now? Are you a little bit confused right now? Stay focused. Warfare in it is a great transgression, but to turn men from way of Allah. You see, you either fight or you turn from the way of Allah. So in other words, you either fight or you cease being a Muslim. Those are the alternatives presented.
Tell me about
And
Adivasis.
let me continue.
me about the
And to
Adivasis.
disbelieve in him.
The native
You see the
Indians.
threat? The sudden threat the Muslim face, whoa, somehow you will disbelieve in Islamic Allah. How could one disbelieve in Islamic Allah? Someone could convince them that Islamic Allah isn't. You are confused, bro. Okay. You are confused.
India is the nation of Adivasis.
He's the answer. Does he have a mouth? Thank you very much. Okay, let him speak. Thank you very much. So you see the problem. I'd like you to agree.
I will answer. Can I?
Let me finish and then you can. So clearly, whereas you tried to change the verse earlier, the verse is very clear. You fight because you don't want to cease being a Muslim. You don't fight because someone attacked you. Now please clarify.
First of all, the context of this ayah or this ayah, that verse that you have just quoted, okay, to understand it, you have to know why this ayah was revealed. Can I explain to you that?
No, I want you to read the ayah, explain the ayah first, before going to any context, please.
The Quran actually said the question. So يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام. So there is a reason why this ayah came down and was revealed.
Yeah, where where is that? Where is that?
Yes,
Please. Where is
yes,
it?
what does يسألونك mean? It means that they're asking the Prophet about the question and Allah is answering.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what was the question?
Can,
يسألونك
about
عن-
warfare.
No, يسألونك
Warfare in
عن
the sacred
الشهر
month.
Sacred month. Okay, so the question was here, okay, is that because according to the Arabs at the time of Islam, okay, it was not allowed to fight in the months of which were sacred, the 4 months, okay, in the Arabic calendar, which fighting was not allowed. And it happened that during this time, okay, one of the Muslims had killed.
Don't give me fancy stories. Stick with the context in the Quran. Stick with the context in the Quran. So, okay, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, and then please, I'll let you finish. Please finish. Please finish. Yeah, please finish. Yeah.
So the
You lose your time.
Please finish.
So now the pagan Arabs were questioning Muhammad's integrity that you are claiming, okay, that you are not allowed to fight in the sacred month. Yes, one of your companions had killed someone, okay? So this ayah is answering this issue, okay? So I'm not making up these things, okay? I'm not giving you any stories as you're saying, okay? This is the reality of it, okay?
Sure. Are you happy?
So, why should I be happy?
Have you finished?
No, I'm not finished. I'm still answering.
He doesn't want to know
Okay.
the truth. He just wants
So
to
what
argue.
the Quran is saying, okay, even though this act was a mistake, okay, but the other things that those pagans were doing are worse than this.
What were they doing?
They were disbelieving in Quran, which we call kufr, in Allah, and they were fighting the Muslims. So this surah, صَدٌّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ means to fight and to prevent Islam from being spread. So the things that they were doing is worse than killing one person in the sacred month. So you people who are pointing fingers at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and at his followers, okay, for killing one person, they were doing things that were worse than killing one person. They were killing multiple people who were trying to spread the word of Allah and the religion of Allah.
Sure.
So it's not about killing anyone just because they disagree with us. And if you want to understand that that is the concept of Islam, you have to read the Quran in its whole context. And if you go to Surah Al-Mumtahana, for instance...
No, I'm not going anywhere. I want to... No. Let's stay here.
Okay,
let's stay here.
And that's why the Surah Al-Baqarah says, La ikraha fi din.
Let's stay here.
That's why the
Let's stay here.
Quran says in the same surah, if you don't want to go anywhere else, okay, and you want to stay in Surah Al-Baqarah, we can see that there is La ikraha fi din. قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك.
Happy?
Why should I be happy?
So here is the problem, my dear friends.
I think you're wasting honestly,
Don't touch me. I've told you multiple times. You can touch me. Don't touch me again. Thank you. So my problem, here's the problem.
Where does it say in this verse that you're allowed to kill every single people who doesn't believe in what you believe in?
Please listen. Now I'm responding.
Yeah, okay.
So you've given me a fancy story.
It's not a fancy story.
I'm speaking right now.
It's fancy.
I'm
because
speaking
no,
right now.
but don't
I'm
accuse
speaking
me
right
of
now.
saying things.
I'm speaking right now.
Okay, speak.
That's the
Not
entire
fancy.
idea of speaking. When I speak, I'll contradict what you've said. That's the
Okay.
entire idea of
But
speaking.
don't say fancy.
If you like,
Don't
please.
use these words.
So please.
Don't say fancy.
What's your problem, sir?
Okay,
What's
let
your
him say
problem?
fancy.
Are you confused? No, are you confused?
You're confused.
Look, your drink isn't doing you well. Maybe the toilet is there. If you're confused,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
there's
there's
a shake there.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
coming to you, sir.
Respond
So
to my
your
fancy.
So your ideas, you gave me a nice fancy story in my view,
Fancy.
and your idea was that this surah, this ayah says that Muslims are allowed to fight because apparently some Muslims were killed. That's your fancy story.
No, you
and
didn't
I'm telling
understand my story.
you. Okay, let me finish.
That wasn't what I said.
Okay. Can I now finish and then you can
Yeah, but
clarify,
I'm
add
just-
more
I'm just
fanciness to your
correcting
story?
you. I'm just correcting you because that's not what I said.
Can I speak now? And then you can. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So, let's read the ayah carefully again and help us understand. Let's try and understand. What is it saying? 216, ayah 216. Surah Baqarah, ayah 216 says, warfare is ordained for you. So Muslims have been asked to fight. That's clear in 216.
Why did they have to fight?
In ayah 217,
I don't know. I'm not
Let him continue.
in ayah 217, it goes on to say, they question you with regard to warfare in the sacred month. And then now look at the comparison drawn. Say, this Islamic, whoever this guy is who is receiving the verse, is asked to say, warfare in it is a great transgression, but to turn men from way of Allah. You see what the threat was? If you don't fight, they will turn you away from the way of Allah. Which in other words means, in other words, it isn't saying, excuse me. In other words, what it isn't saying that if you don't fight, they'll kill you. Is that what it is saying? What is being said here? No. What is being rather said is, very simply, if you don't fight, you will cease being Muslims. Why would a gentleman like him cease being a Muslim? He will be convinced that Islam isn't true. That's what will make him cease being a Muslim. And then it goes on. And what does it say? Warfare in it is a great transgression, but to turn men from the way of Allah. That's the first reason. If you don't fight, they'll turn you from the way of Allah, number one. And number two, and to disbelieve in Him. To disbelieve. Oh, wow. How violent, physically violent, that someone will make you stop being a Muslim. How incredible. And therefore, no wonder, even in the UK, they go around, even at Speaker's Corner, threatening people. When Christians try and expound on Islam, they come around threatening, intimidating. Why? Because they see that as a threat. Of course, this is not Islamic State, and therefore they don't end up killing you. Say, taking the warfare is ordained for you seriously. Because it is the UK, their hands are tied. And all that they are trying to do is intimidate, get away with physical aggression within the... Now, please explain to me again, sir. You gave me some fancy idea that someone was killed and so on. And that is the only reason this verse was revealed. Can you show me that fancy idea from here? Show me, use the context, explain to me, please.
It's my turn now, okay? First of all, the Quran, okay, is not only about this ayah that you are trying to explain the way you want, okay? And the fancy thing that you're talking about, because we as Muslims, we believe in other sources that are authentic, and one of them is the Hadith, okay? And in the Hadith, it was mentioned, this fancy thing that you're accusing me of making up is mentioned in the Hadith, okay? So I didn't just make this up. But the other...
Sorry, one second, Ray. The battery is gone, okay?
I just put it
Oh yeah? Oh, maybe you didn't switch on or something.
Yeah, it's just gone on.
بدي يسجل فيديو يروح فيه بس والله تكلم.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
okay, now I just...
So please tell me, sir, can you please, for the sake of my camera? So you said what I called as fancy story. Please start again. Sorry, apologies.
Are you a Hindu nationalist?
1 minute, okay. Now you are refusing. One minute, please.
How come Hinduism does not acknowledge Al-Wasi?
Okay, I'm not into that discussion. Now this guy here is not allowing me to go to another verse in the Quran to explain this ayah, okay? And if we go to another Quran in Surah Al-Mumtahana, it clearly explains the Islamic concept of fighting. So let's go to Surah Al-Mumtahana and get that verse and show you. But you're not allowing me to go there because you want to stick to your explanation of this verse.
So you explain. You read the verse.
I've already explained it.
No, read the verse. Explain to me. Do you read the parts
from the verse?
But to turn men from the way of Allah. Do you see that?
To turn the way. In Arabic, it's وَصَدٌّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That is what
to turn the way of Allah. What does that mean?
وَصَدٌّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ is to prevent people from guiding others to the religion of Allah.
I.e. being a Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, being a Muslim.
Being a Muslim.
So essentially the threat is that you be Muslim. That's the threat.
Wait.
So
Allah is making a comparison here. If you read it carefully, instead of telling me to read it carefully,
you are the one who is ignoring the phrase.
No, I'm not. There's a comparison here which is being made between two things.
Yeah.
Allah is telling you that this is worse than this.
What is worse? Please tell me.
Worse
is that you fight and kill rather than cease being a Muslim. That's what it's saying.
You asked the question and you're asking yourself.
Go on, sorry.
What is worse than the other thing is that Allah is telling you disbelieving in Allah, okay, is worse than killing one person, even though that killing is wrong.
You see, you agreed with me right now. In other words, the threat of ceasing. The threat of ceasing being a Muslim. What is disbelieving in Allah? In other words, if the environment is such, in other words, if the environment is in such a manner, you will disbelieve in Allah, then you have been asked to fight. Isn't that the right?
Do you see anyone
so
fighting
please
you?
explain to me.
What's your
The
argument?
threat, what is worse
What's
than
your
what?
argument?
Okay, wait.
What's your argument? I
You're
wanna
not
understand.
paying attention.
No, I want to listen to you.
Look,
I want to understand.
don't touch me. I told
okay,
you
I
multiple
want to
times.
understand.
Now,
I
if you
wanna
want to understand, don't touch
okay,
me.
I'm
That's the
asking
first
a
thing to
question.
understand.
Let's establish the
Don't
question
touch me.
first.
That's the first thing to
Okay, I
understand.
did touch you.
Thank
Let's
you.
establish the question. What's your
Touching me
argument?
again.
What's your argument? That
I'm speaking to
Muslims
you.
want to kill everyone?
I'm
Do you
speaking
see
to you.
anyone killing you?
I'm speaking.
Do you see many
Oh,
Hindus living everywhere?
do I see any Muslims killing anyone?
Where? Do you see Hindus
Have
killing
you got
Muslims
have
in
you got
India?
have you got a problem with your eyes, sir?
No,
Do you read the newspaper, sir?
Answer me instead of trying to
Okay,
insult
the gentleman asked me a question, and that's a sensible question to ask. He's asking me, hey, if this is true, then people must be killing others. Do you see Muslims killing others? All day long. You should just go through the newspaper articles. Read about what's happening in Nigeria. Are you now afraid?
No, okay.
Do you know what is happening in Nigeria?
Do you know what's happening in India?
Do you know what is happening in Somalia? In other words, you asked
from
me a
India,
question.
right? You're from
You asked
India,
me a
right?
question earlier.
You're from India, right?
You asked me a question
What's
earlier.
happening in India?
Are Muslims killing others? Is the question the gentleman asked. Now he is afraid.
Listen.
My dear friends, who knows the answer to this very simple primary school question?
Listen.
Are Muslims killing
Why
non-Muslims
can't we
across the world? What is the answer?
Here.
Yes. Where are the Muslims?
I will answer.
Why? Are you specially confused?
No.
Why should you answer? Everyone knows the answer already.
Muslims kill.
Are Muslims killing non-Muslims across the world? Yes. Every single day.
Can I answer?
What's happening in Pakistan? What's happening in Afghanistan? What's happening in Nigeria? What's happening in Armenia? What's happening even in the UK? My dear friends, I don't know if you're aware, Islam has been officially declared to be a mental illness.
We haven't finished.
Just about 10 days ago or so,
There is no point.
an army. Excuse me.
Just let us answer.
Thank you. Who's the asker? Please, thank you.
Does Muslim look what?
Okay,
Does
answer.
Muslim
Too many
kill,
energy drinks.
not in only Nigeria, in everywhere in
Do
the
Muslims
planet.
kill others?
Does Muslim
others
kill
kill Muslims?
innocent people?
What
Say
do you
yes.
mean innocent
Do
people?
others kill
Innocent
Muslims?
people.
Who is innocent?
Do
Like
Hindus kill Muslims?
You
Oh,
talking
they
about
do.
like two wars like
Boko Haram, when they kidnapped
Why is he going there?
hundreds of children, what were the children?
Outside the Quran, was it?
saying is right.
Sorry?
Was your explanation going outside of the Quran?
No.
You said about a specific event, a very specific, which is not in the verse.
The Muslim gentleman, the great blue t-shirt gentleman, has agreed, and therefore he says we condemn, and therefore every one of us should be happy and move on.
Accept it. It's against the Islam. In Islam, if
We were
you
talking
kill
about one
any civilian or any living thing. We're not, of course, we're not taking it.
So you're saying we're not allowed to explain the Quran from this hadith, from the Prophet saying?
Why are you interrupting?
Here's the problem. When you go to Hadith to explain the Quran, it goes against your own verse. Because in your own verse it says the Quran is a detailed explanation of all things.
There's no point in even letting you have
But it can't be if you go outside the Quran to explain it.
No, but the
Please
Prophet,
answer my simple
Simple logic.
question. You as a Muslim, what are you doing
Quoting the
to
Quran,
stop
by the way.
Boko Haram? What are you doing?
Hearing me. Look, if any Muslim, any Christian, any Jew, anyone kill a civilian or a child or a woman or someone who's not fighting you, we condemn that in Islam.
We condemn.
You can check out my channel if you want.
No, Islam doesn't
Boko
tell you.
Haram, what are you planning to do about that? He doesn't even know. He does not even know who Boko Haram is.
Can I ask you
How
something?
about Hamas? What should we do to Hamas?
Can I ask you something?
Don't ask me.
Do you condemn what the Muslim that was killed in India? The Muslim that they killed.
Confused right now. I've asked you
Just
questions.
answer. The Muslims who got killed in India. Do you think it's their fault?
Which Muslims do you have?
Ask him.
There are hundreds of Muslims who get killed in India. What do you want to tell you names? Tell me names of Muslims who killed them.
Let's do it here.
okay, I just wanted to get 1 minute. I just want to, because I know it in Arabic, okay? No. Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean the ayah. Yeah, okay. Now, we were having a discussion about the ayah that he was explaining and trying to say.
Which verse was it?
He was talking about يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه قل قتال فيه كبير. So he's trying to say that this ayah means that Muslims are allowed to kill anyone who disagrees with their beliefs or their thoughts. Okay. So this is a fallacy, first of all, because historically, Christians have lived in peace under Islamic rule. So if Islam was there to kill all non-believers, whether Christians or Jews, then they would not be allowed to live under Islamic rule in peace. Okay, and that is a historical fact that everyone knows about. That is one thing. The other verse that I was trying to go to, that he didn't allow me, he's just trying to hold me in with that verse without trying to go to other verses to explain that, was the ayah in Surah, the verse in Surah Al-Mumtahana, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين إنما ينهاكم الله عن الذين قاتلوكم في الدين وأخرجوكم من دياركم وظاهروا على إخراجكم أن تولوهم ومن يتولهم فأولئك هم الظالمون. So there is a distinguishment here between two people or two types of non-believers, one of which...
Sorry, you can give the verse...
it's Surah Al-Mumtahana.
English translation.
Yeah, English, that's why I want to bring it up, okay? Surah Al-Mumtahana.
Your mic.
I don't have the...
Yeah, if you can...
I don't have the English. Okay, 1 minute here. I have...
Okay.
I want the Surah Al-Mumtahana in English. It's very clear. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there. This is the English. Surah Al-Mumtahana. عندك القرآن بابا؟ لا العربي بقول لي أي اطلع مني هذه تصير It's here, Surah Al-Mumtahana, Ayah 8. Can you bring it out in English? Okay. So let's read it here. So it says in English, Allah does not forbid you from dealing kindly and fairly with those who have neither fought or driven you out of your homes. Surely Allah loves those who are fair. Okay? And the other one, the next one, I just continue here. Okay? Allah only forbids you from befriending those who have fought for you, for your faith, driven you out of your homes, or supported others in doing so. And whoever takes them as friends, then it is they who are the true wrongdoers. So there's a clear distinction between two kinds of non-believers, one of which you are allowed to be kind to and not allowed to fight, and others that you are not allowed to be kind with and you are allowed to fight against. And those who are hostile against Islam, those who have killed Muslims, those who have driven you out of your homes, those are the people that you are allowed to fight. Because of the religion, yeah. Okay. But those who haven't done those things, you are asked to be fair and kind to them. So what he is trying to say is that in all cases, against all non-believers, Muslims are asked to fight. And that is nowhere in the Quran, and it has not ever in any period of Islamic rule, it has not been practiced throughout all in Islamic history. Muslims have not killed Christians or Jews or other non-believers just because they were non-believers. They were allowed to live under Islamic rule in peace under certain conditions. Okay, those who were fought against were those who were hostile against Muslims, were fighting Muslims, supporting people who are fighting Muslims, driving them out of their homes. So it's very clear. But he was just, trying to, twisting the verse and trying to explain it the way he wants. And this is what these Christians do.